What's up guys, Dan here. Have I lost my mind? Look at that, is a big backpack. And I'll tell you what, if you came to a course and you have a really big backpack on, we make fun of you. I mean, to you, right? I'll like do it to your face. Just out of good fun though. And then we talk about that because big backpacks like this, they can really weigh you down, especially camping, bushcraft, survival type kits. They generally aren't, like there's no reason for something this big. But let me tell you why I have this, what it is, and I want to share it with people because it might be an option. So first things first, why am I carrying this and why do I even have this big military backpack? Well, I started taking some training courses this past year with some of my instructors, just stuff that I'm interested in. And one of the upcoming courses that we're going to be taking, it's a little bit more military based. So as an instructor, I know if there's a gear list, you need to follow the gear list. So the gear list said we need a sustainment pack and we need an assault pack and we need all of our camping equipment and we need our tactical equipment, and we're going to be carrying all that into the field along with food and water. So that got me thinking. I have tons of camping, survival, bushcraft gear, but that's like not what this course that we're taking is really too much about. So I thought I'm gonna dive in. Military surplus gear like this pack is a great option, not just for what I'm gonna be doing, right? But also bushcraft and survival because there's so much out there. It's such reasonably priced stuff and it lets you use equipment and then you can make a good decision on, hey, is this too big or too small of a pack? Do I like all this kind of stuff on it? Or do I hate all that kind of stuff on it? And then when you dive into the realm of buying more specific gear that's more high-end, okay, you already know that because you went through this process with just gear that's, I don't want to say cheap in a money standpoint, but still really good quality, okay? So I wanted to go over this because I learned a lot by using this pack. It's been a long time since I used military-style backpacks. I learned, like I said, I learned a lot. So I just wanted to go over this packing system itself. So this pack itself is the USMC FILBE pack, which stands for Family of Improved Load-Bearing Equipment, okay? There's a bunch of different pieces to this kit itself. The sustainment pack is 5,000 cubic inches. There is an assault pack, and then there are sustainment pouches that you can put on the outside of this. There is dry bags, and then there is the water bladder system, which is another, it's like a little camelback, but that has straps too, so if you want to wear just that. And then they also consider the frame and the harness and the hip pad all separate pieces. So there's a lot of pieces to this, and when you buy it, you can buy the complete system, you can buy parts of the system. In my case, I got the whole frame system with the straps and the hip pad, the assault pack, and the sustainment pack. I didn't get the dry bags or the water bladder stuff or anything like that. That didn't have much interest to me, or I didn't feel like I was going to need it. So when I got the bag in, it came in all different pieces. You've probably seen these frames if you ever looked at military surplus. This is the plastic frame. This is, of course, the hip pad. And then on the back of this, you see right now, I have the straps. So to properly use this system, you put your straps onto the frame, and then you put your hip pad onto the frame, and then the frame mounts to the backpack, okay? So that's the first thing you have to do, otherwise the backpack has no way to keep it on. So I went online, watched a bunch of videos, I put it together. The videos, they're all like little, like just small differences the way they were putting it together. And every time I would put it on, it felt okay, but the hip pad was above my belly button every single time. And I knew this was gonna be an issue. I'm a big guy, I'm 6'3", 230 pounds. I'm like more muscular, so stuff doesn't always fit me the way it fits smaller people, okay? So I knew that was gonna be an issue. I ended up finding the original USMC video for the troops of how to actually put this together, and they talk about how to set it in a tall setting. I did that. Hip pad's still nowhere near my hip, so I was okay with that. Hip pads drive me crazy. I cut them off a lot of packs, to be honest with all of you. They annoy me, and I know that in long-term hiking scenarios they're like valuable. I just was never a fan of them, so I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to use the frame and the straps and I'll be good. I've been using the pack for a while like that, and the frame, it's just digging in, and if I have to walk far with this, it's not going to be good. So what I ended up doing was I had to scratch the whole frame because it wasn't going to work overall along with this, which again, I hate them things. So I took the harness part and I just used parts on the backpack that were supposed to be attached to the frame, and I attached it to the harness, and then I zip tied a few sections, not really load bearing sections, just parts that are going to hold this on here a little bit better. It is a soft pack now, so it has to conform to my back. The pack itself for this class that I'm taking, it ends up being with food, 32 pounds. That's all my tackle equipment, all my camping equipment, food, no water. So that's really not too bad. My normal Go Ruck bag that I work out in and I run with and do, it's 30 pounds. So I feel like I'm pretty good with that overall. So let's just look at the pack itself. But I want to give that rundown because I think it's important when you get equipment like this to always think outside the box a little bit with it. Just because that frame didn't fit, I didn't have to like scrap it or send it back. I made it work, and I'm actually really happy with it. It is comfortable, and I've done a lot of hiking and stuff, 2-3 milers with it, and I'm content with it. So let's just look at it overall. So the straps themselves have a pretty cool feature which we wouldn't need in the world of survival and bushcraft, but if you pop this here, you can see that this bottom strap then releases. So if you were to quick deploy this and drop it off your body, you can do that. It also works I guess if your pack was really overloaded, it'd be easier to get it off than trying to like swim your arms through it. Okay, again, I have no hip pad, so that's a void thing. When you turn this over, all right, the really cool feature with this, and then we'll get more into specifics of the pack, is that this front part is the assault pack, which we needed. And the way this system works is the same as what we do in bushcraft. We have a backpack with all of our primary gear in, and once we get our station set up or our camp set up, we take our haversack and we use that. Same thing here. All of my primary gear, meaning like my gear for sleeping and camping and food, is in my big pack, and then I could take my assault pack and just use that for short little jaunts away from our main area. So I have this set up a little bit different. I'm going to show you that in a second here, but this main pack is just a big bucket style pack, which that is what I was looking for, and it's why I ended up going with this type of surplus. There are some pockets on the lid. The problem with pockets on this flap, if you overfill them, if you ever had a pack like this, all it does is pull this whole pack over. So I try to keep that pretty light. I really don't have much in there other than some maps, and then I have some waterproofing stuff in there. Big drawstring at the top that I can access all of my gear. So we're not going to go through gear. I know some of you might be like just waiting to see the gear. If you really want to see the gear, put the link in the description. Put a comment down below. If enough people want to see it, we'll break into this. So what I found was, in a perfect world, the way that the USMC says it's supposed to be set up is supposed to be on top of this, okay? But in my case, I have stuff in my assault pack, so if I have to grab it quick and go, and it's mostly my survival equipment, okay, that's the survival instructor and me coming out, it's here. So I just used the side cinch straps, okay, and the cinch straps from the sustainment pack and the assault pack, and watch this. You can just unclip 4 clips and my entire pack now comes off, and this is my assault pack. So let's just talk assault pack quick. Big front compartment here, which is really easily accessible, and you can fit a lot of stuff in here, so I really like that. There's a zippered inside compartment here of mesh, so we have that. I have pretty much all my survival equipment, so T60s and fire starting and stuff in there. And then this back portion unzips, and I have water bottles, and then we have like mags and stuff in there we need for the course. More storage, and then a flap in the back. This also, if you would get one of these, it is padded. I went ahead and, because I'm OCD and crazy with hip belts, I cut that off because I'm not, that was like upper ab area. It was ridiculous. So I don't have a hip belt on this, which I don't care. But these straps actually can slide down inside here, which makes it more streamlined if you were going to put it on top or on the front and you don't want these in the way. But they're not in the way at all for me, so we're good. But that is, I would say, if you watch my video on my mystery wrench backpack, like my get home bag, that rivals it. Like I actually like this one more. It just feels old. I don't want to say old school. This feels like a backpack to me more. The way this opens, okay, I guess that's the 80s and 90s child in me coming out. I just like the setup inside. Center zips are good, but I don't know. This is I hold it true to my heart. And I love this front compartment. Fits all of my survival gear. So it's like it's a great setup for me. The sustainment pack itself, like I said, the lid, it flips. There's some mesh and some pockets up there. Big drawstring up top. I have a ton of room left in this, which I'm happy with, and if I had to put some winter stuff in there, I'd be okay. The sides, there's lots of MOLLE on here, but they do make sustainment pouches that you can actually attach more. I don't need it, so I don't worry about it. This has sides that actually go through, so if you had to load stuff down in the sides, you can do that. You can see side pockets here for canteens and things like that. And then the bottom here is just going to be for more gear, and it's your sleeping compartment for your sleeping bag and stuff. I am using an overquilt that's in the top section. In the bottom section here, I have my helmet and my chest rig because of the weight distribution, the way without a frame this thing is set up. I have to have the heavier stuff down here on the bottom, which works out because I can open that up with I take my assault pack, and then I can open this up and take out those two things, helmet and chest rig, that I'm going to need for the course, and all of my camping and food and all my other stuff is up top. And then also with this, inside there is a divider, okay, to keep your sleeping gear or your bottom equipment separated from the top. I do have that zippered, but you can unzipper that and make this just one huge pack, which that's pretty cool itself. Again, big bucket style pack. And then cinch points on each side, which those things drive me crazy, but I can't cut them off because it holds this on. And then the bottom here, I have it all taped up, as you can see. If you have like a sleeping mat or something that you want to attach to the bottom, you have those cinch points there. And what I found with this is that I just load up my soft equipment to the back. I have a lot of dry bags and stuff in here, and it really conforms to my back, and it's comfortable overall. Heavy duty carry handle, and good overall. So in a world of military surplus and big oversized backpacks, this one might be something that you might want to think about. Also, something like this for like a get home or emergency type kit works really well. In a world of bushcraft and survival, these big packs, generally they work best in the wintertime because you're going to have a lot more sleeping equipment. So big heavy sleeping bags, big wool blankets, bigger tarps, stuff like air mattresses, stuff like that. They work well, okay? Where they don't work well is when you start filling it up with a lot of heavy equipment, and that thing, you know, is starting to exceed 70, 80, 90, 100 pounds. I mean, some packs that come to our classes, they're just overpacked with junk that we don't need for our bushcraft and survival objectives, right? So most of it's going to fit in here. And then I would say if you're using this, like I just said, for survival or bushcraft, this should be sleeping equipment. This should be like the equipment that we're using daily, fire starting and water procurement and all that, and you would be good to go. So just, I thought I'd share with you because I learned a lot through this and thinking outside the box and getting it set up and just working with it, and then most of all, using it. Like I said, I've been using this, I've been putting it on and walking, and you got to make sure your stuff works right. So another option in the surplus world for some of you, if you've never seen this pack or this entire system, I'm going to give it, you know, 2 thumbs up. I think so far so good, and I didn't have to spend, I'm well under $200 on this whole thing, so that is pretty nice. So if you like this video, hit like and subscribe down below. Also let me know in the comments if you want to see the gear loadout and all that kind of good stuff. We could do that for sure. And check us out at coalcrackerbushcraft.com, and until next video, stay in the woods.